Well, I'm joined now by Seamus Nevin, Head of Employment and Skills Policy at the Institute of Directors. So, Seamus, BBC in the spotlight today because everyone pays the licence fee and it's funded by the licence fee. But, I mean, this does highlight a wider problem, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Tackling the gender pay gap is rightly a priority for government and for businesses. But I think it's important to remember that as with private sectors who now are obliged to report their gender pay gap if they employ more than 250 people, context is really important in this. So often the issues around the gender pay gap are not necessarily to do with the workplace per se. They have a much earlier route to do with education and family background. And addressing this will take a holistic approach, not just businesses or employers themselves.
But as we were hearing, the Equal Pay Act was 47 years ago. Why is there still this lingering problem?
Well, a bit like with the BBC's report today, which shows that obviously a lot of men are at the higher echelons of the salary according to today's report, but it comes down to context. So there are generally three main causes of the gender pay gap. The first one is occupational segregation, the fact that historically some women have tended to go into lower paid occupations more so than men. How we tackle that is tackling the image of jobs as male or female. Other ones to do with generational aspects. So historically, again, it was less common for women to go to university. Today, that's actually been reversed. And for women under the age of 30, as a consequence, the gender pay gap has been reversed. Women are now earning more than men on average. The other area, however, is the motherhood penalty. And that's a really intractable problem that involves an awful lot of effort from employers and from families themselves. So encouraging more fathers to take childcaring responsibilities, but also looking at how we can encourage more flexible practices in the workplace to allow women to engage more in the workplace while still having families and being able to do both successfully.
I mean, we've talked an awful lot down the years. I mean, goodness knows we've done it on this programme enough, talking about the lack of women in the boardroom and in senior executive positions. But from what you're saying, it goes further down into the workforce. I mean, is there should we be introducing quotas or anything like that further down the workforce?
Well, I think before we look at introducing quotas, we should also recognise the successes that we've had. So overall, the gender pay gap is at its lowest level ever. Now, it's still there, it's 9.4%, but we've made significant progress. We also have record levels of female employment and record levels of women on boards in companies in the UK. So there have been significant strides made. And I think a carrot approach tends to work more than a stick approach when it comes to employers. So let's keep that progress going.
And interestingly, I mean, everyone's been beating up on the BBC today. It's actually got more women in senior, well-paid positions than your average private sector business, hasn't it?
Indeed, and the other aspect of this, of course, is that while the BBC has come in for a lot of criticism because of today's report, we don't get a full picture here. Many of the BBC's top stars are not included on this list because, of course, it's only those who are paid via the licence fee. Those who are paid via the BBC's commercial arm or who are paid through production companies elsewhere aren't included. So looking at the picture holistically and really examining what the causes are is important.
All right, Seamus Nevin from the IOD. It's good to see you again. Thanks for coming on.